Our next guest on the pod is originally from Wall Street, turned into an endurance athlete. In her recent book, Marathon Mindset, you'll learn about breaking free from the mental limits you've unknowingly set to reclaim ownership of your mind and find your true potential. Needless to say, we are wicked excited to have Rekha Gibbons on the On the Runs podcast. Rekha, what's up?
Hey there, Eric. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. Erica, I'm so psyched. I did some research on you guys, and this is an exciting podcast. It's snarky, it's a little down and dirty.
I love that description, Rekha. That's fantastic. I mean, you are part of the pod fam now, so you got to come to the dark, dirty side with us. So welcome to the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm super psyched, and thank you for that intro, Eric. That kind of sums up where I'm at.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's fun because, we're going to get into it soon. You wrote a book recently. We've had some book writers on before. Anyone who's published their own book to being professionally published and in between. And this is going to be a lot of fun to learn about that whole process in your book, Marathon Mindset. But first, I want to get to know you, and I kind of want to know, this is new. Erica sent me you in an email, and she goes, hey, this is Rekha, and I think we should have her on. Connect the dots for me, the two of you.
So I was looking for sponsors for my book launch, and I found a company that does no plastic water. And it was a perfect mix because you got marathoners. There was going to be a fun run included with my book launch. I thought, perfect, water, right? Path water in particular. So I checked it out, and I found a fantastic person there, Lori Rucker, who worked with me. We're very excited to work on my launch party, but she also mentioned this podcast. She goes, I think you should have a conversation with my friend Erica. And she connected us.
Oh, I'm so excited too. And thank you so much, Lori, if you're listening. You are just a wonderful person also. And I just love that we were all able to connect and get to know more about each other. So this is just going to be so much fun. And yes, thank you, Lori. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Lori. Let's get to know you a little bit, Rekha. Where are you from originally? Did you, who'd you grow up cheering for, watching the NFL? Are you a Patriots fan like us, which we were just talking about how sad we are right now? But tell us a little bit about yourself.
So answer to that, sadly, Eric, is no. I was raised in Maryland. So that I went to University of Maryland. I'm a Terrapin. And that means I was raised watching the Washington Redskins.
Which, Erica, they are who now?
They're the Commanders now. I learned that. He gave me a whole quiz and it went terribly, but I did remember that one thing.
It's so funny. I bumped into a guy on the trail who had a Redskin shirt on, and I'm like, "Oh, Redskins!" And he goes, "You don't mind them called Red?" I said, "I was raised with them being called the Redskins. I'm sorry, it doesn't bother me." So that's who I was raised with. But being, a kid of the '80s, I was MTV. I had to have my MTV. I was raised in that area. There was St. Elmo's Fire and Georgetown. It was a great time. And Maryland, being close to Washington, D.C., I had a lot of cosmopolitan experiences.
I'm surprised you're not a Ravens fan being from Maryland. Are you like anywhere near Baltimore?
Yeah, this is how much of an OG I am. Ravens didn't exist when I lived in Maryland.
Oh, no shit.
So the Colts used to be there back in the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, was a baseball fan, Iron Man. Now I'm having a senior moment.
Anyway, the big baseball player?
Yeah.
Cal Ripken.
The Iron Man who played,
Cal Ripken Jr.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Legendary. And I know you guys are involved, you're a New England fan, so obviously you have your take too. But that was the world, it was that Washington, Maryland. I have huge family, very supportive. I've always been a writer, but I knew I was in college. I was ready to get my master's degree in psychology, industrial psych. And I thought, if I don't go out and find myself in the world, I'll never leave. I'll stay here the rest of my life. So I moved to New York. I wrote a couple Harlequin romances. I worked at Doubleday. I used to take the elevator up with Jackie O.
No way.
And this is late 80s. So this is what's really interesting that I've had a chance to see.
Jackie O is from Grey's Anatomy. right?
That's Sandra Oh.
Ah.
Nice try.
Insert the. My bad.
Anywho.
So what was really exciting for me, not knowing it at the time, because I was in publishing, is I got a chance to see the evolution of marketing technology, publishing, real time. So at the time, the typewriter was tech of the day, right? And then I got a chance to, then I moved from publishing to Wall Street, Lehman Brothers in the 90s. And at Lehman Brothers, the emergence of the internet, and people were saying, well, what is this? My kid says I have to get on the interweb. What's it going to do for me?
Oh, if only we
And
could
at
have
that
predicted
time-
back then.
Yeah, no kidding. And at that time in the 90s, it was all about, number one, education. This is my brand. And two, lead generation. How can I connect you to the person that you need to be connected to? And that's all lead gen. So fast forward to 2000s, the emergence of social media. And I was at AIG during the financial crisis. And the questions I was asked pre-crisis was, what is the social media thing? You know, how's it gonna make us money is always the question. And the answer was word of mouth marketing, because it's 400 times more powerful and cheaper than dirt. So
Right.
I've been really lucky to see the transformation and the evolution of business, politics, technology, big time. And now we're, in the world of AI.
It's
Wow.
crazy the
That
world
is
we're in
quite
now.
the jump. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to go back to Maryland, and then we can jump
Okay.
back to the Wolf on Wall Street life of Rekha. But did you ever go to a restaurant? This is the best barbecue restaurant I've ever been to. It's called Red, Hot, and Blue. It's in Annapolis. And you can get great barbecue in Kansas City, Memphis, all over the country. I've never had better barbecue than that place in Annapolis, Maryland.
Is it a dry rub or a wet rub?
I don't know that. I'm not that well educated. I
Okay.
just know I prefer a wet rub if that's what
Okay.
you're asking. But it is right off the highway as you're like heading through it's east of Baltimore. That's what I know.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you see it from the highway, and it's this old looking like red shack, and you walk in and there's sports memorabilia everywhere, and it's nothing, it's independent, it's nothing fancy. It's just you go in there and you get barbecue, and it was amazing. Red, Hot, and Blue in Annapolis. And
All
the
right.
cool thing is I'm going to Maryland soon, and I'm going to go out of my way to go back there.
Oh, look at you. I have not been there, but now that you mention it, I'm always looking for a good restaurant pick. So that's on my list now. Thank you.
Let's get back to the life of Rekha. Wolf on Wall Street lifestyle. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the 90s was crazy. The 90s was the unadulterated Wall Street, Ivan Boesky, Wolf of Wall Street, literally Jordan Belfort was doing his thing, in the 90s. And I was a female, a woman. I was more on the marketing tech side of things. So I sat on a trading desk for vanilla swaps, coffee swaps, equities. And what they were doing, because it was a tech team, they were creating technology for the traders to use. So we're talking these incredible programmers, idea thinkers, visionaries. They were the desk I was working on. They were creating a virtual reality goggle that what they use on trading stations are the Reuters and the Bloombergs, and these are the old school trading stations. Everything was done by hand, by the way. It wasn't done, digitally. But what they were innovating in the 90s was, I'm going to have virtual reality goggles that allow me to do this and pick this, because they were investing in their traders. They really wanted the traders to have the highest amount of information flow possible. So I got a chance to see some of that stuff. There's so much money going on. I got dragged in to coach one of the managing directors who makes $500,000 just in a bonus, that kind of thing.
Must be nice.
And he said to me, they said, Rekha, would you go teach this guy how to use a mouse? And I said, okay. He goes, so, I mean, literally, when you're playing with a new piece of technology, it's not even technology. It's like, how do you learn to
Hmm.
use a can opener or, the soda top? It's just learning a whole new set of behaviors.
Hmm.
So teaching her how to click, he goes, when do I let go? When do I let go?
Oh my God.
I mean, oh, that's something we take for granted these days
Yeah.
because it's just like second nature to somebody who's grown up with this kind of technology. But you're totally right. To somebody who's never seen this before, they're like, what do I do with it? Like,
Hmm.
how do I even move it? Like, where does it, what am I looking at? So wow, that is, that's kind of mind boggling.
Do you remember the commercial? Super Bowl just happened, right? There's all these great Super Bowl commercials that we've seen. FedEx came out with this amazing one, how easy it is to use FedEx.com. This is like when internet was like really becoming a thing and you could use FedEx.com. And this lady at the office asked the new guy, hey, we really need your help. Can you come help us with shipping? And he looks at her and he goes, here's FedEx.com. It's real easy. He looks at her and goes, I have an MBA. And she goes, oh, you have an MBA. Yeah, we're going to have to show you how to do this then.
Nice.
I love that. Here's the thing, and throughout my career, as I do speaking engagements, I've talked at universities, Roger Williams University. I did
Hmm.
workshops there.
That's awesome.
So I know, and I love that school. I really do. One of the things that's really fascinating to me is, with the younger generations, the OGs or the baby boomers, they can't find a PDF. Here's the deal. Every generation was an early adopter to the technology of their day,
Mm,
right? So you think about where you are and how younger kids are like making fun of it. It's like, sorry, we are all the early adopter of the technology of our day. So
that's
it
true.
should give us a little bit of hope and, some props.
Oh man, technology has come such a long way from like its beginning and then to where it is now. There's been so many changes and it really is hard to keep up with all these changes. That's probably why I don't do a lot on social media because half the time I'm like I can't figure out how to do this and it's like a willingness to learn like do I want to put in the time to learn this new thing and yeah, eventually I'll get it.
One day. But
One
you've
day.
seen it all. And you said something earlier like I'm aging myself. Erica and I are right there with you. We're 80s kids, mid 80s, and then grew up in the 90s. We're right there with you. We've seen it all. And man, life, like it's the joke. Man, we got away with so much stuff because there was no internet back then. And that's, the life's everything's so different today.
There's no
But
proof.
right. But that's a
Yeah.
cool journey you've had. And at some point you became not just an athlete, but an endurance athlete. When did this happen?
Okay. So about 15 years ago, I met my husband on Match.com.
Is that still around?
I think so.
Tried and true. Come on.
I think
There's
so.
so many now I
Yes.
don't know about.
Look, I'm a proponent of online dating, because hitting the clubs and bars does not find you your mate.
Hmm.
Okay.
You said
Maybe
it.
people are lucky with that and power to them, but that was not working for me. So I met him and he was very unassuming. I had no idea he was an endurance athlete. I had no idea he had run 350 marathons and over 100 ultras
Before you met
My mind
him.
just exploded.
before.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
in the time we've known each other, we've both slowed down considerably, but I didn't know that. So when I meet him and, he's all like chill and cool and,
Mhm.
and he obviously was interested in seeing me more. And he goes, we can go really cool places. We can go to places together all over the world, but you're going to have to run with me.
Mhm. And
And
what were your thoughts when he said this? Were you like, "Okay, I'll try," or were you just kind of yeah, what were your thoughts?
Erica, I'm a jock. I've been a jock my whole life.
There we
Tennis
go.
player. You. I ran track, but I was a sprinter. I'm short, twitch, fast muscles. I am not endurance. That has never been my MO. So he says this, and I'm thinking to myself, because he said, there's a half marathon in Kauai. You want to go? And I'm like, Why, yes, I do.
Say less. So at this point, had you ever done a half marathon, and you were just kind of like, I
No,
can get there?
no. I think I was in decent enough shape, and because he's not only is he an ultra athlete, he's a chiropractor and an acupuncturist.
Oh,
So
very nice.
he treats world class. He treats Olympic athletes. So he
Very
says
cool.
to me, "Come on, let's go. Let's go check you out." So I'm trotting, la, 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 la. I'm such a dork. I had no idea who he was, And I'm running, and he goes, "You're great. You're fine. There's no reason you can't run a half marathon." So he trained me, and we would do a couple, 2-hour increments, a couple times a week. He says to run a marathon, you have to do 70 miles a week. That's his protocol.
Mhm.
So we're running, and he goes, "You shouldn't be really." He goes, "You're doing okay. You're not tired. You're not hot." I'm like, "Well, we're just running. What's the big deal?" I, I knock on wood, I must have been in decent enough shape and health where I could keep up. So
Mhm.
we did Kauai, and Eric was my favorite marathon of all time because it starts at like 5 o'clock in the morning. You're surrounded. I mean, it's Kauai, so it's spectacularly beautiful. But there's also a sacredness and a sanctity about Kauai and Hawaii overall, where the race director gets up and he blows a shell horn and
Hmm.
he says, "Let's say a blessing for the runners." And they do a prayer to protect
Oh,
the runners and nature. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I love this sport.
that is such a good intro into it. Like a lot of them, a lot of races don't do that. And it's just kind of like, all right, you're on your own. See ya. But you
Yeah.
got more of a spiritual experience out of it. That's very nice. So note to self, go
Uh,
to Kauai.
Yeah. Oh, definitely do the half and the full. He ran the full, I ran the half.
Have you gone back?
Yeah, we've done it a couple times actually. And I've run the Honolulu Marathon maybe 3 times. We've run the Hibiscus Half Marathon. We're actually, for our anniversary this year, we're going back and doing the Hibiscus Half. So it's you know what? It's a great place and time for the second half of my life.
Hmm.
And that'll kind of get into the story of why I wrote this book and how it came about. But to use all this life history, this life experience, and share it.
Now, with your
And
husband doing all these ultra marathons, do you ever follow him to races that he's running in and you crew for him? Do you ever Sherpa, as I like to call it? Tell me a
yeah.
Sherpa story. Like, is there any awesome, epic story from one of his races from your experience as a Sherpa?
So there's one in particular that he used to love doing the Leadville 100.
That is no joke. Leadville is that
We
one
do
has
Leadville, but the marathon and the half, not the 100. He's
oh
done
good, good.
he's done the 100 several times. He's run again, over 100 ultras.
Mhm.
So he's doing this, and crewing for him means just, hey, come on, let's go, let's do this, let's go. So he sends me a picture of him. It must have been higher up and on the ascent back, and it's a picture of him with Lance Armstrong.
Not a
And
big deal.
And so he says, I knew that Armstrong was going to pass me and then have to come back. So he said, hey, Armstrong, take a photo with me, will you? So Lance goes, yeah, I needed a break anyway. So he has a selfie with Lance Armstrong. Now, this is after the cycling stuff because
Right.
Lance is a spectacular athlete. His VO max is like 85, insane.
Oh my
He
god, I
is
didn't know it could go that high.
he's a spectacular athlete. So whatever has happened before, the point is he still works his ass off.
Oh yeah,
So Wayne was just, he's like, look what I got.
that's
That's pretty
amazing.
cool. You know what's cool about Lance, and this goes for a lot of athletes we follow sometimes, is once they're done in their prime of their main sport, you still see them doing epic shit.
Mm.
And he's still out there doing epic shit all the time.
I think when you're hungry like that and you've got the nuts, the
Hmm.
stuff, it's hard to become mediocre.
Some don't have the nuts though, but they're still extreme. If you get that, Lance Armstrong, people.
Oh, okay.
Anyways. How did you describe us earlier? The dirt and dirty or something? Like,
Snarky.
yes, you're spot on. You're
We did
spot
it.
on. But so you meet this amazing guy. He sounds incredible. Like, we'll have to have him on. Maybe do the two of you and hear some stories. But you meet this incredible guy. At some point, bring us to the book here. Bring us to like what brought you to the book, what brought you to how you use your mind and you can change and train your mind to get in the right mindset for these races.
Yeah, I actually, this was a heartbreaking story, but it changed my life in the best way possible. So as I was mentioning, I speak at universities, I do workshops. And 3 years ago, I created a brand to leverage all of that, my own business called The Generational Guru, where I create harmony with 5 generations in the workforce. It's about learning how to lead for each generation, because again, each generation is so different. And I had this stuff on it. I'm like, oh baby, I know this. I love talking about this. And I would do workshops not only at our Roger Williams, but also at Montclair State, 2-3 day workshops. And the kids would come up to me and they'd be like, nobody has ever told me this. And I was like, that's what I'm shooting for. I don't want to regurgitate the same HR stuff that, oh, you have to do this framework for SHRM and, CHROs are going to, I'm like, no, I want to teach, especially younger generations, what it really takes to succeed. And not only in your career, but in your personal life as well. And that was my quest with this. And then I got hit really bad in 2024. There was a big backlash against DEI, and being a woman of color, I got buried by it. I was working with 2 huge clients. One was the government, and the other one was a global management consultancy. And they said, we really love what you do. 6 figures, by the way, we're talking big clients. And they said, but we can't work with you. So I'm like, are you kidding me? I plugged in all this time and energy and money and, effort into doing this. And now I have to rethink not only my livelihood, but my purpose itself. So it shook me. And my husband said, I thought of something he had said to me years ago, and that was, if you're going to run a marathon, you better be really good friends with your mind, because for miles and miles, that's all you've got. And I thought, oh, there's something here. There is something that runners get and understand and are able to leverage, because they can do these long endurance runs, that if I can figure out how to put it together, then I can share it with anybody, because the voice of negativity in my head was so loud, it was tearing me apart. And I thought, okay, if I can learn how to figure this out and decode it, I will share it with the rest of the world. And that became the premise for this baby.
Oh man, that is something that runners, anybody really struggles with this. Like, just, you can't get out of your mind. And sometimes it is a trap, and it's just, it cloys you. It doesn't let you really breathe and be your true self. So I am very interested to hear more about your book and how, like you said, Eric kind of mentioned it in the beginning, like how to unlock that, because that is something that we struggle with.
And it's something, there's a couple really good code breakers that I came to. And one of them is, we're wired this way. Humanity is wired from, if you believe in evolution, or, however we tell that story, the point is we were running from the tigers, or we were trying to chase or not be lunch ourselves, right? So that trigger in our head is ancient, to be afraid and to jump and to want to run away. So we're actually coded for, the default is negativity, because the person who thinks, oh, that rustle of the trees could be a snake, is a person who lives for the next day. But that's how old that is. And that's the default of negativity. There's another piece of this, which is even more interesting to me, that everybody has a piece of, and it's this little baby here.
The
and
phones,
that is,
yes.
it's not just the phone. It's technology,
Mm-hmm.
it's news, it's certainly social media that is wired for one thing that social media companies know, and that is the algorithm of outrage. They know that the best way to keep a person engaged, this is marketing 101, right? The best way to keep a person engaged is to make them so furious that they can't put their phone down.
Oh, is this the doom scrolling? Oh, that's
It's
so hard to get out
intentional.
of. Oh,
Yeah,
It's
I
I
think
hate it.
she's going
intentional,
deeper than
though.
just doom scrolling, Erica. We're talking like when you dig into the comments
Unavoidable.
and like people say things to get everyone riled up and to get them
Mhm.
angry. Like just Bad Bunny, Super Bowl halftime show.
I loved Bad Bunny.
Exact, but you get what I mean?
Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And you know what? Eric is 1,000% right. And this is where there's a section of my book called Be an Owner, Not a Consumer. And that is the overall message of this. That is, in order to take control of your own sanity, of your own peace, you need to take ownership of what you allow into your house, into your home, and into your head.
Mhm.
That's called sovereignty, and that's called ownership. And by taking control of it and saying, I get a chance to choose what comes in here.
That is so smart, but it sounds so hard to do. Like, how can you really block out all of the stuff that you don't want to see?
Well, you know one of them already, and that is put your fucking phone down, go outside, and run around the block a couple times.
Yes. Clip it,
That's a
Eric.
good
This
one.
is the one. This is great.
That's a good one. Now this isn't all what you think and what you came up with. Like you talked to others, you interviewed others, talk about some of the people you've had conversations with, and you put in the book.
Yeah, I was really, really lucky because my husband's such a badass with the ultra world. I got a chance to interview Billy Mills, who was the only American who ever won a gold medal in long distance running. This was in the 60s, right? So
Oh,
I got
wow.
some incredible stories from him. I and these are coming up. I'll do some short little YouTubes on these. I was so busy writing the book. Bart Yasso, who is the mayor of Running.
Yep.
Yeah, Abby Burfoot. And then John Kelly, Mr. Barkley Marathons himself. I got a
Oh,
chance
man.
to interview him. I was really, I was thrilled. And he's a very unassuming person. He's just really low key, super dry. And, my whole intent in talking to him is I'm not just interested in being an ultra endurance athlete or just being successful at work. I'm talking about the whole package of having meaningful relationships, beautiful, committed, meaningful relationships while being optimal health at the health perspective, and then succeeding and thriving in your own personal goals
Mhm.
and financial goals. So my question to him was, how does, Barkley marathons, he's finished it 3 times. He did the AT Appalachian Trail this year, trying to get his personal best time. Unfortunately, his foot was injured, so he wasn't able to complete it. Making money for the people who were harmed during the Asheville and the flooding that happened. I mean, all of that money went back. And he's also a tech co-founder. And I'm like, how do you do this? I mean, how do you find a way to succeed in all 3 of the pillars, to me, that are the power hitters? And he said, honestly, my life is a lesson in constrained optimism. He said, all 3 parts, my wife, my family, my job, and my running, know where I'm at all times. So we managed to make things happen using those limitations. So that's a chapter that he's in. It's called, constrained optimization. How do you make it happen?
Oh, seriously. Balance is so difficult.
He's extraordinary, extraordinary. And there's so many extraordinary athletes. What I see happening is there is a resurgence of, you get to a point where everybody hits a plateau and nobody can break it. It's called the Bannister effect, where, Roger Bannister was the first person to break the 4-minute mile. They're like, it can't happen. It can't happen. Roger did it. And a month later, another person broke the 4-minute mile. So it just shows you that humanity, all you need to do is think, wait, if somebody did it, I can do it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it takes. The limitation is a self-perception, or it's a perception that has to be overcome internally.
Man, the mind is such an interesting organ. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just like you said, you can unlock things as long as, like, what's stopping you? If somebody else can do it, why can't I? So that is definitely a mindset that it helps motivate. But just trying to think about how it actually works that way. Like, why does your mind, if
But
somebody
also
else
how
can do
it's
it, why
working,
can't I?
like when you're in the
Yeah.
middle of that ultra or in the middle of that race,
Oh,
is the
man,
way I kind of
especially
view this book. Like how the games your mind is going to play with you in the middle of your marathon or your race or even your training run. It's like, for me,
Yes.
I just got to say to myself, next step. And then once I hit that
Mhm.
step, I'm like, I can do one more.
mental fatigue, like when your body is physically fatigued too, your mind does not
It's,
operate at its full potential.
it's
So
like when you're trying to think of the lyrics of that song, Erica, in the middle of your ultra, and it's Layla, and you're singing it, you just can't figure out that's Eric Clapton, Layla.
the
But
mind works in
you keep
mysterious
going,
ways.
America. Right. And
She
you're like,
gets
what
it.
is this song? Layla.
Oh,
You mentioned chapters. So
Mhm.
I want to talk about a few. I want to highlight a few chapters in your book here. Give everyone a little bit of a taste here without giving it all away. But one of them, an early chapter in the book, I think, is the OGs of running. Talk a little bit about the OGs.
So I love this whole concept, because the OG piece of it is, original gangster, old goat, whatever you want to call it. I love that because there's so much preciousism. Preciousism. I don't know if that's a word. I think we're becoming so curated and so, oh, I'll take care of, oh, I have to hydrate at mile 5. I think there's such a,
Take a goo every
little,
45 minutes and 15 before. And yeah.
yeah. And what I was lucky is because I got a chance to hear from my husband Wayne and his cohorts, who were like New York Runners Club back in the 70s, that kind of thing, right? And they would tell me stories about back in the day, because running at that time was slap on your shoes, and they're basically slippers with a little bit of rubber at the bottom, and you get out the door. That's it. That's it. You know? And I loved that whole concept of, you do it because it's there to do, right? It's not like
Mhm.
you're trying to, oh, I'm doing this for this nonprofit, or nothing wrong at all with that. And I applaud everybody who does that. But this is for a person going out just to show themselves, I can do this. And I love that concept. So we got into, the origins of running. For example, City Field, former Met Stadium, they used to have 100-milers, and they would run through like the back of the parking lot, come back through third base, cross finish line, go. I mean, so Wayne has done these, and he says he's crossed finish line more than most professional baseball players.
The home plate. Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, literally use these outlets, and they were also used Madison Square Garden for something called pedestrianism, which was the reality television running event, not even television, reality event of like the late 1800s and early 1900s. And it would be 5 days events where these guys would just run, and they would be smoking, betting, food, oysters, bands playing, booze. It was a circus. And pedestrianism was, because you know what? Here's the thing. People want to be entertained. And that was how they were entertained at that time. And then let's get to some fun stuff here. We're talking about race day swag, the stuff that you give away. The reason why I liked writing about this chapter was to show that we've gotten pretty soft. I think there is a huge dichotomy between, the origins of running and where we are now. Obviously, we've got John Kelly, and there was a kid in New Zealand who a 16-year-old who just broke did a 348 mile.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I think overall there's so much comfort that gets associated with our daily lives. Things are pretty comfy, right?
Yep.
So talking about the OGs, and there's nipple rot because when a race, when you run a race, and this is before sports bras. The sports bra came about by two women who took jock straps, her husband's jock straps, sewed them together, and
Wait, is that for real?
real.
Oh, I need to find these ladies.
This is in my book. Check out chapter 6, The OGs of Running, because it lists these two ladies, and it's, so sports bra has jockstrap DNA.
Wow.
The technology of running gear from like the OG times to now is insane. You've got like your smartwatches, your headphones, like you said,
you got
the
our
wicking
compression
fabric.
boots, your recovery, you got all the fancy stuff. One of my favorite lines I read, and I was going to say this 16-year-old from New Zealand will never know what it's like to run in a heavy cotton t-shirt and basically experience a sandpaper workout.
That's it. That is awesome. And you know what? They're breaking their own limits, and it gives us a chance who are involved with the sport to sit back and make a little fun of it. I'm not being too precious about it. I'm not breaking any records myself, and I'm so grateful for the sports bra ladies. I've never done Boston, but one of the fun things is at the race giveaways at Boston Marathon, which I know it's coming up for you guys very soon. There's beef stew. That's what they have at the so you'll get your water, you'll get your little goose, and you'll get some beef stew at the finish line. It's like fantastic. It's cold. You want something hearty and salty.
That is
one of my
awesome.
favorite Ironmans is we had lobster after. It was in Maine, and I was like, I want that lobster. Yeah. Can you give me an experience that you have yourself personally, like training your mind? Is there a moment in a race where you like something clicked?
Yeah. I think my favorite time probably was the Honolulu Marathon, because you do a long, 12 miles, and then you're going down this highway, and it's hot, and highways are not fun,
No.
they're just, and so you have to turn around and come back up it. And I'm like, oh God. And speaking of Ironman, we did the Kona, and Kona is on a volcanic island, and you're running on the highway. It's 113 degrees, and it's the middle of July, I think, right?
Ooh.
It's like, who does that?
October. The half is in the summer, but yeah, October is the big world championship. Yeah. Yeah, it's never not hot in Hawaii. In Kona, you're on the Queen K, and it's just forever and ever and ever on that bike. And then you're right, you turn around and you do it again. And it always feels uphill. I've not done Kona yet, just like you have not done Boston yet. But it's just like, that is such a tough game on your mind when you're looking down like a tunnel or a highway, and you never feel like you're actually making any progress.
And I think the click moment is when you stop and ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? Is it to get the finisher medal? Is it to prove that I can run this race? Is it to be out here, get a really badass workout, and feel good about myself? And that's what it ends up being for me, Eric. It's like, I'm here to get a really amazing, I'm not breaking records. Nobody's going to be deluded by that. But I am here for an amazing workout, to experience this landscape, to experience the people around, because energy is such a big deal. When you have,
absolutely,
you know this, right? When the people around you are part of that, if you find your Peloton, then you run with them, because it really gives you that added edge.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I like ultra running so much is because you just form such a community and everybody's basically miserable. So you can commiserate with everyone and you can kind of feed off of their energy. Like somebody will see that you're in a real low place and they'll be like, "All right, we need to make some jokes. We need to tell some stories. We need to uplift you and get you through this hard patch." And like many of my friends have come from these ultras and they are just so amazing. And I keep coming back to these races because I know they'll be there. And every time you just meet new people, you make new friends, and it's just a wonderful circle that I like to keep coming back to.
I think that's the best thing about running also is a community
Mhm.
because, runners will take care of their own.
Yes,
Tell me
absolutely.
some things you do while you run. Like, do you listen to music? Do you listen to the On the Runs podcast? Are you like me and you listen to nothing at all? Erica is one who has to have music on all the time, even if she's running and having a conversation with somebody. What are some of your running like quirks here?
So I'm a non carry something with me person, except a little lip balm. That's it.
Mm.
So for me, and luckily I usually have people running with me, so I will have a chance to have conversation. But to me, the big the big bonus is running outdoors. You're exposed to nature, and there's always something so redemptive about nature. I really feel that nature is the restorer, and that's actually a chapter in the book where go outside to be in nature because it will restore you. We're so tech heavy, so I don't like to have tech with me when I'm doing. I have my little fitty bitty, and that's it. That's just to count my steps. But I that me, I prefer to be immersed in whatever location I'm in and absorb as much as I can of that element.
That is a great reason to get out there. And I know for a lot of people the reasons that get you out the door may differ, but I mean whatever it is that does it, just praise it.
And that's the key. Get out. just it there's a couple other things we were talking about this earlier that runners understand, and that is the ability to visualize. I see
Mm.
myself running past mile 12. I see myself getting on the 18th mile. 20 comes and I'm flowing. I feel because the visualization is one technique that's used. And then the other is to play it out in your mind, right? Just act like it's happening because your mind doesn't know the difference between you playing the piano and your mind playing the piano itself.
Mm.
These are the techniques that are shared in the book where we go into a really deep dive into the science, the neurobiology of what runners do and others who are experts at reprogramming the mind and leveraging for high performance.
So you said that you started this book, was it 2024? How long did it take you to actually compile the whole thing and collect your interviews and just collect every piece of the puzzle?
So the idea started coming to me, and it didn't quite hit me in 24. It hit me in 25, early in
Okay.
January of 25. But when it hit me, because I've had this idea at the back of my mind for years, and that is what running marathons teaches me about leadership. And it's just kind of an idea. But when all of this stuff happened, I thought, wait a minute. This is personal now. This is really
Mm.
personal because
Mhm.
that voice of negativity was like, "Mrr." So I said, I spent all of last year doing research for the first 3 months, heavy writing. I had a editor who I was working with.
It wasn't me because I would have missed your misspellings.
Oh, Eric.
There are actually some in there. I'm like, what? Oh my God. But tell me if you catch any and I'll fix them in the second edition.
Mm.
But I had a fantastic editor who changed things for me because I was writing it like I would write one of my workshops. Oh, here we have some flows, and here's some diagrams, and here are some exercises we can do. And she goes, tell me stories. And because of that, Erica, this book is something completely different than what I really thought I would write. came out of me in a way that I never anticipated. And because of that, it's more personal and more intimate.
That's what I think readers are going to enjoy most is it's a way to connect to you, but also learn a little bit more about themselves.
Beautifully said.
Now tell me this, the book is coming soon, but it was supposed to be here already. You and I were chatting, and I told you about what a code brown is, an oh crap moment. And I think you had a code brown around the time this book was supposed to come out. Tell us the story, and then tell us when we should expect this book.
All right. So when you asked me the question about Code Brown and I was doing research, I'm like, oh shit, I have a real Code Brown. So the book launch was scheduled for January 24th in, just past January. I had the Rockefeller State Preserve. That was at a gallery opening. I had Pathwater as a sponsor. I had all this stuff planned. And then the publishing team said, well, we haven't launched yet formally. And I'm like, okay, but as long as I have books, because I have to have books to do a book signing. Exactly. Yes. And they were like, well, if you rush, maybe you can get some copies for the actual launch. So number one, the book hadn't launched. And two, I didn't have books.
Oh no.
And I'm like,
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. So I spent an outrageous amount of money to have it shipped to me right away. And then we get hit with snowstorms.
Oh my God, that was that weekend. That was like 2 feet of snow. Oh no.
And we had to move it because they couldn't hold the event. So the bottom line of this, Eric, is the book event at Rockefeller, and anybody who's around, we have the New York Runners Club and the Westchester Running Club who are going to be there. It's going to be March 21st.
Ooh, coming
from
up.
1 to 3. It's a Saturday. So excited. But the book is now live on Amazon. Matter of fact, it's hit bestseller in 3 categories.
Oh, I'm so excited for you, Rekha. Congratulations.
Now, will this be like available for Erica to read on like her Kindle or something?
It is.
Or do you want Erica to do your audiobook too? She'll do it.
Behind me, this book collection I have is all of my running books, and I do feature a bunch from our author friends that we've had on the podcast. So I am going to be adding your book to my collection. Absolutely.
You know what I'm going to do? I mean, if you want to get in Kindle, you'll get it right away, but both of you will take this offline. Send me your addresses and I'm going to send you signed copies.
Oh, you're wonderful. I'm going to take you up on that because I need to display it proudly right behind me on the podcast. So thank you so much.
I love that. And, I'm so excited because one of the things that I got a chance to do was, being a business person and being a marketing executive, I prepped for this. So I was able to get a quote from Brian Tracy, who says this: if you're serious about limitless achievement, this is an indispensable guide that will transform your mindset and unleash your unstoppable self.
Oh, I love that. I got some big things coming up this year that I'm going to need some help kind of unpacking. So we'll be reading it.
I'm there for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I'm pulling up an image right now. This is the book cover. I love to ask everyone, how do you come up with this book cover? Erica, it reminds me a lot about Patrick's book because it's somebody running. It's the foot, the heel in the air. But this one's really cool. I got to know, does this have a little Hawaii theme? Because could that be like lava in the shoe or something? How do you come up with the cover of your book?
I like that. I like the lava idea. So I wanted to have the impression of somebody taking a journey, right? And obviously it's a race, it's a marathon, but the thing that drives is the power of the mind. So having the neurons in the shoe shows that the real master is not Payne Wall at 22. It's not the elements of the weather. It's really your mind. So the more you become friends with your mind, the more you nurture the power inside of you, the rest of you get fueled. So I'm trying to portray that the real game is in your head, guys. Let it run the show for you. And those are my legs, by the way. Marathon tested, baby.
So for those of you who are on YouTube and who haven't seen it on Instagram yet, it's the bottom of the shoe. It's kind of like the roots of a tree or the veins in your blood vessels going up to a brain when I see it on the bigger image here. And I really like that. I like what you're doing with marathon mindset, and you're running and it's a trail race. It's an ultra. It's Erica's favorite thing in the world to run on a trail in mud. So I think it's awesome. Great book, nice color, and yeah, the lava. I don't know what made me think of that, but the lava.
I mean, it's like it's neon. That's I think the word I was going for, but it is very eye catching, and that is something I would absolutely pick up.
Oh, that's so exciting! Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
One last thing on the book, like for anyone who wants to pick up this book, like what do you hope they get out of it?
I hope that they get that running is one of the best ways to keep your mind healthy and calm. Not only your body, but your mind. And also, it's a great way for kids to drop the distraction and rewire, because what you're doing is rewiring. The running itself forces your mind to rewire out of a state of distraction and into a flow rhythm. Both of you know this because you're both runners. Mm-hmm. It forces. So when you're running, when you're moving, you can't think about, oh my God, what did that text say? Or your mind actually smooths itself out into an easier course. So applying that day to day, applying for, everyone makes you a calmer person. And also the thing I wanted to share is that, if the voice in your head is being mean to you, and if you've ever wished that your mind was your friend and not your enemy, there are ways to do this.
That is a great tool, and I can't wait to learn how to do that for sure.
Erica is our big reader in the group. Erica, how many books did you read last year in 2025 alone? Like, you track pages, right? You even track the pages and the words.
Well, I have a spread, like I have a Google Doc of how many books I do read, but I do listen. So as long as you count that as reading, because I am technically comprehending the words, I have read, I think it was 75 books last year, and that is one of my high years. So I'm most certainly going to add this one to the list.
I think also using the audio when you're running is a brilliant way, because it's doubling the impact. You've got this incredible, beautiful sound or thoughts running through your head, and then you're treating your body to an outdoor workout at the same time.
Best of both worlds.
And, this just came to mind because we talked about audio versions of the book. Will there be an audio version? Okay, now here's my next question, because I had this conversation yesterday with Ryan from Recycled Percussion, Erica, and he went out, for Justin's book, he went out and he tested a lot of audio readers. Like, there's people who do this professionally, and they vetted over hundreds of them trying to find it. Who's talking in your audio version? And if it's not you, how do you pick that person?
I'm going to do it because there's so much personal storytelling, but I would love to take you up on getting connected to your friends, who do this, because there's a lot of content. I have exercises in it. I have downloads, interactive quizzes, and I also have those interviews. So for me, the ultimate is this Audible that you can click on or go to resources that aren't in the book or that are more interactive. So anybody who's doing that kind of work, I'm so interested in learning more about it.
Yeah, I'll make that connection for you. I'll help you there.
Love it.
Yeah.
This is so cool. It's going to be an experience. It's not just a book. It's a whole experience.
Now, I'm excited. I don't read books, but I will. I told Erica I'll start to. Not that I can't read, by the way. I know how to read.
You have a lot going on at home, man.
But my point is, all these people offer me the book too. And Erica will actually read your book. I want to change it. If you still want to send me a book, you send me a book and I'll put it on my wall. But if you do send me only one, I would love to give it away to a listener and do a little giveaway contest or something.
Awesome.
That's what gets me. That's what gets me excited about it. So you can still send me one, and I'll put it on the book, on the bookshelf. and I'll listen to the audio tape. And Erica's going to give me her credentials. She still hasn't, but she will.
He has a lot
I'll
of audios
definitely-
he's got to read.
I'll definitely send you, I'll send both of you your own copy signed, but I'll also give you one for the reader, because this is a limited first edition. So this guy right here that you're looking at is going to be obsolete within the next couple copies. So it's
I feel extra special now.
You're not off the hook yet, though. I would still love to. We have to have you and Wayne on to hear some of these amazing stories. So we need Wayne back, but we have a couple final big questions. Erica's is really tough. It's a hard one. And mine's pretty fun, I think. So I'm going to go first. My question is, I want to hear a hot take. Do you have a hot take? It can be running. It doesn't have to be running. It could be like pineapple doesn't belong on pizza, or it could be running based like, why are you putting carbon plates in your trail running shoes? Give me a hot take.
I think the hot take with, and this could be, I think that people are so obsessed with other people's opinions, with other people's what they think. It's like, oh, but so-and-so said this, and and news is just rife with, it's not even news, it's infotainment. And I think we need to grow up and understand people. You're being entertained, okay? An opinion is an opinion, and do the research to figure out, is this fact? Is this reality? So to me, my hot take is everyone can have an opinion. Everybody should have an opinion, but understand that we're being entertained. This is what the end goal is, to entertain you, to keep you engaged for as long as possible. And the people who do the in-depth, willing to take the time to research it, are the ones who probably get the biggest payoff.
I like that. That kind of goes into the whole thing we talked about earlier, where someone's going to say something to really get you going, right? To really get you all riled up and to dive into the comments or to fight back or something like we talked about. And you see it every day. It's like you just can't get away from it. But you're right. It's like you got to figure out. For instance, I sent Erica a picture today, a screenshot. Patriots lose the Super Bowl. Apparently Cardi B and Stephon Diggs break up in the middle of the game. I'm like, did they really break up in the middle of the game, or did it happen before? Are they even broken up? Is this a rumor? And it's like, it triggers. It absolutely triggers. Then you dive deep and you're like, is this true? You don't know what to believe. Do your research, do your homework.
Put anything on the internet, it just isn't always true.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. And it's like, does it matter?
Right.
I
How
know.
is it going to?
Like that literally has
I can't
no
live
impact
anymore with Cardi B
on
and
my
Stephon
life.
not together.
That does not impact me in any way whatsoever, besides being like, ooh, drama. I'm addicted to the drama. Entertainment, exactly. So now that you've heard his question, here comes my incredibly difficult question, apparently. But Rekha, we have ourselves a Spotify playlist, and we like to invite our guests to add a song to it. So it could be anything that gets you motivated. I mean, you may not listen while you actually run, but is there something just that you groove to, or something that centers you, something that you would like to add to our list?
I do. It's Blue Monday by New Order.
Oh, excellent.
Do.
That is a fantastic song.
I was thinking of this, Erica, because I know you I was like, okay, I got to do something really good. And the thing
Nailed
that
it.
spoke to me.
And that's
thank you.
hard, because you're like, I need to get the right song. It's only one. That's why I say it's hard.
You're right. And I did research. I was like, oh no. And I did research on other playlists and other, like what? But to me, this one spoke to me because I'm an 80s chick, and it felt that was my time, and it has that rhythm that makes me feel happy and good.
You were around when MTV was really MTV.
Yeah. When it was music.
Yeah.
It's not even around anymore. Like, wasn't it
I
New
don't
Year's
know. My
Eve or
sister told me I'm
something?
not entirely correct, by the way.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's around, but they got rid of, like, apparently they had 12 channels before, and they got rid of like 11 of them.
So there's
Yeah.
still an MTV, just we don't know which one of the 12.
Yeah, I think it's the one that doesn't
Yeah.
play music.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think
Well,
it's
those were the
reality
good old days.
television.
right. It used to be
Because that's
called
the evolution.
RTV.
Mm-hmm. Well, those were the
It's
good old
insane.
days.
Man, just like going back to, thinking about what it used to be like. It was so different then. And the kids today can't comprehend It's no longer like I used to walk both ways uphill in the snow. It's not that anymore. It's just like they're like, how did you survive without a phone? How did you survive? Like, what do you do? Like, I saw the coolest thing. These AI generated things about what life was like in the 80s and the 90s. And do you remember Saturday morning cartoons?
Hmm.
They're not around anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I used to wake up every Saturday morning and you had 4 hours of cartoons, Bobby's World and other things. It was so cool.
Now you just have a channel with
Hey,
all the
you just
time
go onto
cartoons
YouTube or
and
Netflix and you watch it
that
whenever
too.
you want.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
That's another reason why, when you have a constant source of something to entertain you, why you have to own what you allow yourself to be entertained with. Bugs Bunny in the mornings, watching Penguins of Madagascar on Saturday mornings. I
Mhm.
mean, that was classic. And maybe I was goofy at the time, doing it. Oh, X-Men, the cartoon version, but we did it because that's something that resonated with us. Right
Mhm.
now, though, what I see is obsession as opposed to
Right.
selection.
Yeah. It's true.
Nailed it.
It's so
Mhm.
true. And it's gotten all of us. We've all fallen into it and you need to find your way out of it sometimes. And I really think people are going to like your book here because you fall into that obsession too sometimes with running and you forget like how it used to be before all the tech and all the gear. Everyone had analog watches and stuff or just throwing on a pair of shoes and going
Yeah.
out there for gym class and running the mile in a cotton t-shirt and experiencing nipple chafe, which I've never heard of the term nipple rot until you brought it up. And I'm
That
like, that
sounds
is
so horrible.
amazing. So
Oh
yeah,
man.
sometimes you just gotta go back a
Back to
day.
basics, right?
Right. That's kind of like why one, I don't run without music because my kids keep ruining my little headphones. But two, I've eventually at some point embraced like where I am and just the silence of the rail trail or something or the outdoors. And it works for me. I maybe listen to music once a year now. Not even music. I'll listen to a podcast because I want to finish it. And I find headphones that are missing the little rubber piece. And I plug it
Oh,
in.
Eric.
I know. Somebody don't buy me headphones because my kids will ruin them.
Don't keep them in the house. Keep them in your car.
They find them. I don't
How?
know.
Oh boy.
They're monsters. But Rekha, this was amazing. This was so much fun. I really want to thank Lori for setting this up. Erica has something to say. She's like, oh, so I'll let
Yeah,
Erica
before we
go.
close off, we got to let her tell everyone where they can find her either on social media or her website or just where we can get the book. So go ahead and let us know where to find you.
So you can find Marathon Mindset, Outrun the Voice of Negativity on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram, Rekha Gibbons. Connect with me, send me, DM me your favorite stories about running. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And on LinkedIn, I'm Rekha Gibbons as well. If you're a leader or educator and want to learn how you can help your team or your class learn some of these techniques to increase performance and decrease the voice of negativity.
And I'll try really hard to get those in the show notes. I know Erica's supposed to check them, but she doesn't.
Well,
And
you've been
add the
using
links.
AI lately, and I'm like, oh, it's fine.
No, no. See, Erica and I fight sometimes here,
been a while.
and you were supposed to. But listen, I'm going to put the links in there, and for the Amazon, for your website, for Instagram, I'm going to get them all in there, and that will be beneficial. So if you guys are listening and you're like, oh, how does she spell her name again? It's Rekah, by the way, guys.
No,
So,
it's not.
No, oh my God. I wrote her
See?
down wrong.
Spell check.
It's Rekha.
Yep.
Gibbons. But go to the show notes. It will be there. I promise. I'll do it because
And I will
Erica
check
won't.
it. I will check it. I will.
Bull. But this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Listen, will you bring the second most famous Wayne in the world on the podcast one day with you? And he's only one behind the great one, Wayne Gretzky. So
Gretzky.
I would
Awesome.
love like to have the two of you on because I want to hear the story. I love stories, and I want to hear his story about how he would be like get you to go for a run and not just the Hawaii one, but like, hey, will you come to this 200 miler and you know change my socks or something.
That's love. That's true love.
That's love.
He's a crazy man. He is a crazy man. So I think you guys would have a hoot with him.
That'd be awesome. But guys, this was a lot of fun. I really hope to meet you one day, and we'll do that with Wayne. Erica, thank you to your friend Lori for this amazing get. Guys, check out the book, Marathon Mindset. I know if you're a book reader, you're going to love this. And Erica is going to give us a full review when she's done in a couple of weeks.
You got it. I'm excited.
Rekha Gibbons on the On the Runs podcast. That was wicked awesome.